Hello, Daniel. Really appreciate you taking time out of your day to join me here for this interview. How are you?
I'm doing good, my friend. What about you?
I'm great, thank you. The reason I invited you on is because I saw a win from you in the main campus. Could you explain what that was about?
Yeah, so I had a cleaning company when I was 17 and I was able to make $18,500 within the first month, actually within the first weeks, and was able to scale it throughout the next months.
Mhm. So that was when you were 17. How old are you now?
I'm 19 currently.
Okay. And when did you join the real world?
It's like 1 year ago. Yeah, I joined 1 year ago and it has helped me a lot since then.
Okay. So how has it helped you scale your company?
It has helped me with following the business lessons from Andrew Tate. So he has like the business mastery course, and I just followed it and implemented the knowledge. So I know how to deal with staff, how to like get more clients, how to deal with more stress. So I was able to scale the company and make a lot of money. Yeah.
Due to the real world and the knowledge you've learned there, how has it helped you scale your company? Are there figures you could give from more recently?
Yeah, so back to the days when I had the company because it got deregistered. But when I had it, it was like the first weeks I made 18,500 and I was able to scale it to over 35,000 and keep it for 1, 2 months. And it was like all because of the lessons I followed from Andrew Tate and the business mastery course.
And why did you deregister your company?
It was because the amount of money I made wasn't enough and it was hard to scale at a point. So I was thinking about how which business can I go for where I can work from anywhere in the world with a laptop or a phone and still make the same amount of money and it's easy for me to scale. So I just started email marketing and it was the best decision I made regarding to business. I have a laptop here, I can work with it. No matter if I'm in Dubai, I was in Dubai 2 months ago, I was able to work with it. No matter if I'm in a cafe here in Germany and it's much easier to work, but it's still hard. It's not easy, it's even harder. And this is why I deregistered the company. I wanted more freedom.
Mhm. So, so, with what you're currently doing, are there figures you can disclose, or do you prefer to keep that confidential?
So you mean with the cleaning company, right?
Yeah.
So the most I made in a month was $35,000 within one single month.
What does your average day look like now compared to before you joined the real world?
I was able to, or how do I say it? I'm able to work even better because I've implemented all the lessons from the real world and I understand now what hard work means. Hard work doesn't mean to sit at your laptop and work for 12 hours. Like that's impossible. That's not hard work. I realized that hard work means to actually sit down for 4 hours, 5 hours, fully focused and work on your business. And I have a lot more work now because I'm implementing all the knowledge from the real world and following their lessons and steps. And it's a lot of work to do and I love it. Yeah.
Okay, fair. And since you said following the lessons, I'd say that's a good transition into how different are the lessons in the real world compared to what you can find out on the internet.
There's actually a big difference because the lessons on the internet they aren't bad, they are good, but the real world has it more like the knowledge is more specific, more in depth, right? So it's easier to implement and you're able to ask questions and get feedback if you want to do something. So the knowledge and the options you have are much better and the knowledge is more specific and more in depth.
Mm-hmm. Has the Wins channel had any kind of effect on you?
Absolutely. So the freelancing win channel actually was something that it had a big impact on me. I realized there are people making the same amount of money I made, where I had to work like 7, 8 hours a day with the company, where I had to check on the staff, do this and this. they made the same money even more with less work and less time and with more freedom, right? And that was like the most inspirational part of the Win channel for me.
Hmm. Very nice. And if you remember, going back to when you first started out in the freelancing campus, what was the biggest challenge you faced?
So the biggest challenge was that you have a lot of knowledge. There you can learn and you have a lot of lessons and it's hard to get started. So I just went through all the courses, all the lessons, and I was like, holy shit, like how can I start right now? What do I have to do? Because this guy says this guy says this, and this guy has this problem. And I just solved it by jumping straight into the cold water and just taking action. That was like without having a perfect plan, without knowing what the hell I was doing, I just started and implemented what was told to me without asking too much questions. And then the further questions I had, the answer was automatically like given.
Hmm. Nice. And what would you say have been the three biggest lessons you've learned from your time in the real world?
So one of the biggest lessons and one of the most interesting lessons was from Luke. So he has some lessons and he talked about doubt and that it's absolutely normal to have doubts. And the way he explains it or explained it to me and the way he talks about it, I realized, hey, it's normal to have days where you just think about, is this going to work? Like I'm going to write emails for someone, they're going to pay me. Is this real? And he told me, yeah, it's real. It's normal, and you can do the same. And it's normal to have the frustrations, the pain, and the doubts. Every champion has it. So this was like the most important lessons I've learned, and the most important lesson I learned. And the second most important lesson was from Dylan Madden. He talked about hard work, and I realized that hard work it doesn't mean to sit at your table with the laptop in front of you and act like you're working 12 hours on a laptop. So that's not hard work. Hard work means to like work full concentrated for 5 to 6 hours, maybe even less, and without any distractions, get the work done and take action, and not only scroll through Twitter, TikTok, and act like you're doing something.
Hmm.
And the third lesson, my bad, was from Andrew Tate talking about, not Andrew Tate, the copywriting Andrew, the
Andrew
professor,
Bass.
talking about human psychology. So I'm a copywriter, I'm an email copywriter. So it's the most important part for me to understand the human psychology and to use it to write a copy and to sell.
Cool. Since you've been in the real world, even before it was called the real world, when it was Hustlers University, what difference have you noticed between what Hustlers University was and what the real world is now?
In my opinion, it's the biggest difference actually is that you have the opportunity to ask questions and get feedback for your like the work you do. You can send it to the people who are like professors or like captains. You can send it to them. They give you a feedback, and I think this is like one of the most important parts, to get feedback for your work, because HU was a very good video course from Andrew Tate. Like the lessons were insane and outrageous, absolutely amazing. But the real world is kind of more developed in a way that you can ask questions, get feedback, and the knowledge is way more in depth, and the variation of the knowledge is also very interesting. So you have way more knowledge in e-commerce, way more knowledge in the crypto campus and in the freelancing campus, and it's only the beginning. So I'm looking forward to the upcoming value, and it's a big difference actually.
Mm-hmm. So now that you're on this trajectory, where do you see your life heading in 6 months to 1 year?
So I cannot like look into the future, but I know that I'm going to be in a much better position than now, financially, from the mindset aspect, from the body aspect. And it's like the most important part for me, the most important factor for me right now is to just achieve the goals I have and focus on today, right? So what I do today is going to have impact on tomorrow and the next days and the next weeks and months. So it's important to me to focus on now and just be clear on my goals and just focus on them and don't worry about too much in the future because the
Mhm.
moment right now is the most important and this is going to be decisive regarding to your goals.
Fair enough. And now, on a kind of separate note, what kind of impact would you say Tate has had on you, if any?
So this is a question I can answer in, I can even talk 24 hours about it, but one of the most important aspects where you changed my life was mindset. And it's the most crucial part, right? So if you're a man and you want to achieve like big things and you have goals, the most important part is your mindset. And he helped me to build an iron mindset, to overcome stress, how to deal with stress, and how to become a high value man. And he has a great impact on my life, and he had a great impact on my life. And I'm very grateful that I'm learning from him since 2.5 years. So from before all the cancellation, I've learned from him. I had the Iron Mindset courses, the PhD courses, all that, and it's worth more than gold. Like the amount of money I paid, it's not that much. The few $100.
Mhm. Fair. Now, before we end off, what advice would you have to people who are considering joining the real world?
So in my opinion, you should make your own experiences with the real world. You shouldn't go on TikTok, see a video about the real world and HU and look into the comments and see some guy telling you it's a scam and just leave it there. It's $50. It's nothing, right? Just take the money, join, make your own experiences, and then you can say that it's like a scam or something like that because without experiencing it yourself, without testing it yourself, you shouldn't judge. So I recommend it to everyone. Just grab $50, join. And if you want to make money, if you want to become a better version of yourself, the best version of yourself, making a lot of money, having a strong mindset, overcoming with dealing with stress or whatever it is in your life, join the real world. There's a lot of knowledge and a lot of things you can learn.
Mhm. Great. And for people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where can they do so?
You can hit me up on Twitter. My name is Copywriter DK, so just copywriter and the letters D and K. You can just DM me if you have questions or you want to like connect. Just hit me up on Twitter.
Okay. So we'll add that to the description of the video. And Daniel, again, really appreciate your time and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, my friend. You too.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, my friend.